Well. Welcome back to the Arsenal podcast, Cross's Arsenal podcast, the early news. Mikel Arteta given 3 games. That's the biggest story I want us to look at. Calicio Mercato. I talked about this story yesterday, but it wasn't in detail because we were talking about the relegation story and so on. So we are going to be discussing this. Martinelli is back. We might not see him today against Dundalk. We might not see him against Burnley, but probably against Southampton in the midweek and Everton. I mean, they are the 3 games that Mikel Arteta has to win. Olive Willian is linked to a move away from the Emirates Stadium, and this is to Real Betis. What do I think about this? Maybe I'll share my views on that. Thomas Partey backs Mikel Arteta. He says he wants, he is one of the reasons as to why he joined us. He loves the manager. So what do we do next? And then there is an update about Dominic Szoboszlai and Hausemowa. Stay tuned. Subscribe to the channel. Like the video. Get your comments coming in because it's going to be massively massive. And if you have not subscribed yet, like I said, do that before we start. Now, Calicio Mercato wrote an interesting piece yesterday that Mikel Arteta has been given 3 games. He either wins them or he leaves the club. And those 3 games are Premier League games against Burnley, against Southampton, and against Everton. Of course, the next 2 games after those are Manchester City in the EFL Cup and Chelsea, that is in the Premier League. And I don't want to say these are easy games. I don't want to say these are easy games for Mikel Arteta. I mean, I'm not really pushing so much that, this guy gets sacked so much. I really want to see him, develop his career outside Arsenal. I really want to see Arsenal develop, and I would want him develop as a manager. So I would want him to leave the club. So we get in someone who's working so well. The fact that he has been given 3 games, it works. It works so well. I was waiting for that for that warning, and I told you guys that I'm waiting for a point in time where Arsenal come out and they're like, we have given Mikel Arteta, this amount of time. We have, I was waiting for a club statement, but it wasn't coming. But I was waiting for a club statement, Arsenal to come out and say, guys, man is not working. Things are not going so well for Mikel Arteta. Let us give him 3 games. Let us give him, give him five games. Even if they had given him 5 games, starting with the Spurs game, you thought, it would bring some morale into the camp. It would bring some morale into the team. But, they didn't. I mean, Arsenal just didn't. They kept on looking on. And now the man is losing games. There's no pressure. Pressure has already piled on, naturally on him. And I don't think even if you gave him, 2, 3, 4, 5 games, I don't think Mikel Arteta is going to save his job. And I believe, he might beat Burnley, that is this weekend. He might get a point against Southampton, which is also going to be very hard because Southampton are very good at set pieces. And you know that if Arsenal, is led, if we go down 1-0, 2-0, there's no plan B. It's gone. So the 3 games is Burnley, Southampton, and Everton. Look, we can beat Burnley. I mean, we have not won a game in the Premier League. I don't know. For the past 5 games, we have not won any game. But we can beat Burnley. That doesn't mean that, we have gone down so low to the levels that we can't beat Burnley. But still, when you look at the levels of morale, the energy, the body language of the players, it's hard for you to say that you're going to beat Burnley. I mean, it's really hard for us not to say that we are going to beat Burnley, that we are this confident and so on. But the 3 games given to Mikel Arteta, I think they're enough. They're enough. For me, by this time, he should be sacked. I'm telling you, by fact, I'm telling you, the truth. By this time, man should be sacked. Man should be out of Arsenal. But I think Arsenal was trying to push him till January. These fixtures cannot take him into the January transfer window. I'm telling you, by the time we finish December, if Mikel Arteta is not sacked, even if he's sacked, we are going to be bottom, in the bottom 3. So he needs to go. I mean, there are no 2 ways about it. There are no 2 ways about it. He needs to go. We need to find a suitable manager. So 3 games given to Mikel Arteta. I'm not happy. I mean, I'm one of those people who backed him around 5 months back. I backed him. I thought he was going to do a great job at Arsenal. I thought he was going to do great things at Arsenal. So I really backed him. And I can't say he has been a bad manager totally or completely. He has not been a bad manager. He's learning. And I think I think he has given us a nice experience, right? He has given us a nice experience. Now, still, under Mikel Arteta, Thomas Partey says Mikel Arteta is building something big at the club and he would want him to stay. He says he's one of the reasons as to why he signed for Arsenal, and he is building something good with the manager. Now, this is where problems are going to come in. Some of these players that Mikel Arteta is not using, and you guys know it, are not Mikel Arteta players. I mean, they're not Mikel Arteta men, and that's one of the reasons as to why he's not giving them football. Now he has brought in his own players, Gabriel, Willian, Partey. These players came on as a result of Mikel Arteta convincing them about the big project he has he's building at the club, about the big prospects he wants to establish at the club and so on. So it's quite going to be again a hassle. How do we deal with these players when Mikel Arteta is gone? Because some of these players really joined Arsenal because of Mikel Arteta, and you guys know that. Willian, he joined Arsenal because of Mikel Arteta. He didn't join Arsenal because we were attractive or we were better than Chelsea, or Chelsea couldn't give him a better deal or something. No, the reason was Mikel Arteta convinced him very convincingly, and man stayed. Gabriel Magalhaes, still the same issue. It was with Mikel Arteta that the man stayed that the man joined us at Arsenal. Aubameyang signed a new contract courtesy of Mikel Arteta. You got Thomas Partey. He has already said it. He joined Arsenal because of Mikel Arteta. So it's not going to be so easy, to just put up Mikel Arteta. It's going to have an effect. Because, like I told you, most of the players we brought in last summer are his men. And we were unattractive. We are not an attractive side. I mean, we didn't have Champions League. We had the Europa League that we qualified through winning an FA Cup. So that means we were not good enough. We had finished 8th. A player like Thomas Partey would be thinking about leaving Atletico Madrid, a club with Champions League, to join Arsenal down in the Europa League. They'll be weighing their chances and they'll be saying, no, this is not the right decision for me to make. But all of a sudden, Mikel Arteta convinces them, tells them, guys, it's going to work. Come, let's work. Let's build this project. And Willian said it in his interview, in his first interview at Arsenal, that Mikel Arteta said, I should join this club because in the next 3 years he wants to win the Champions League. Now Partey is saying it again. That Arteta told them they're going to win something if they join Arsenal. If he leaves again, there are going to be big problems, but still, I would want him to leave. I would want him to go. Now, another piece of interesting news is Real Betis are interested in the signature of Willian. I mean, we have just brought in Willian less than 5 months ago, but it's a little bit crazy if you if you think about it. It's quite a little bit crazy. Like, how the hell do you want to sign a player who has just joined, the side? But I do understand. I think the levels of frustration in the fans and everything done at Arsenal, is attracting potential suitors of some of these players. I know, this is a situation where I'll hear that Aubameyang is linked somewhere. I'll hear that Pepe is linked somewhere. I mean, stories have already come out that Aubameyang and Pepe, could leave the club. I mean, those are stories courtesy of the situation at the club. But Willian, he is not a bad player. He's not delivering though, but I still think he's one of the players we need to keep, at the moment. Maybe you can think about selling him in the summer, but in the January transfer window, either loaning him out or selling him is not the right option. I do not go for it. I just don't go for it. He can be a backup player if Pepe comes back. Then you have Gabriel Martinelli coming back. You have Aubameyang there. You have Lacazette there. It could be a very good backup option. I mean, you just can't have all your players in the pitch. It's just not possible. But you need to have those quality players on the bench. If he was coming off the bench, I think Willian would be a quality player. Play Pepe first, play Saka first, play Gabriel Martinelli first, and then bring on Willian in the 60s, in the 70s. You want to change the game, you want to add intensity, you want to intensify the press and so on. Probably you could bring on Willian. He could do it for us. He could do it for you. So That's another big story. Willian linked away from the club to Real Betis. I don't see it happening this January transfer window. I just don't see it happen. But again, at times, you think about these things and you're like, you can't say it's not going to happen. These are transfers that transfers are transfers. We have seen players join a club and then they head out straight on loan. So, but Real Betis, I don't even think Willian would be good with going down to Real Betis and so on. I don't see it happen. I just don't see. I don't see it happen. But Gabriel Martinelli is also back. That's the other piece of story. I tried to do this yesterday, but my internet really got distorted and my video got distorted. Sorry about that. But Gabriel Martinelli is back. You think it's one of the big boosts Mikel Arteta has. I don't know when he's going to start playing him with either in the Southampton game. He had a brilliant, game against Southampton last season in the 2-2 draw. He just came on and he made an impact. Alexander Lacazette scoring the equalizer. Martinelli, when should he come back? That's a big question. It's a really big question. Of course, his official return date is January, but the crisis Mikel Arteta has right now, he's going to try to rush him back. I know. He might not play him against Dundalk. I know. He's not going to play him against Dundalk, but he might play him against Burnley. I won't be surprised if he gets some minutes against Burnley. I won't be surprised if Gabriel Martinelli gets some minutes against Southampton or Everton. Like I told you, Arteta has 3 games. He wants to save his job. He wants to make sure he can save his job. The only way he can save his job is getting on the best resources he has to work. And of course, who are the best resources at the club right now? You think of Aubameyang, you think of Pepe, you think about Partey, you think about Leno, you think about Gabriel Magalhaes, Kian Tierney, and Gabriel Martinelli. So I think the pressure at Arsenal is going to force Mikel Arteta to bring back Gabriel Martinelli as soon as possible. Although I don't think it's going to do anything. Like, I know it's going to create an impact. I mean, the way we play is going to change. He's going to be, this kind of player who takes on defenders, he takes on other guys and so on. But I really don't expect Arsenal to put a lot of pressure on this man. He's a young lad, for Christ's sake. We just can't throw a season's whole, lot of burdens onto the shoulders of such a young player. It would be quite unfair. He's been out injured. You rush him. You put him on pressure and so on. He is just going to get injured and more. You're gonna make it worse. Oladipo says good morning, guys. Good morning, bro. How are you doing? So let us just jump into the transfer update. We'll be talking about 3 players: Casey, Szoboszlai, and Houssem Aouar. What did Fabrizio Romano say about Houssem Aouar? Quite an interesting piece of story. Yesterday he was with Arsenal Lounge. I tried to watch some of his sometime on the channel, and I was like, okay, what is Romano trying to say about the transfer special at Arsenal? And he was trying to say that Arsenal is going to try as much as possible to go for Houssem Aouar if the Dominic Szoboszlai story or the Dominic Szoboszlai transfer doesn't come out through as they expect. And I really expect that. I expect Arsenal to, just wake up one day and splash money on Lyon's table. But he also said that it's going to be very hard for Arsenal to get, Houssem Aouar in the January transfer window because, of course, Romano, he's always skeptical, and that's one of the reasons that's why he's a good journalist. Journalists have to be skeptical. Good journalists have to be skeptical, and Romano is always skeptical. He says Arsenal might go for Houssem Aouar. They're going to try as much as possible to go for Houssem Aouar in the January transfer window. Why? Because he is Mikel Arteta's first choice. Get it? He is Mikel Arteta's first choice. So our first choice is not Dominic Szoboszlai, like everybody would think, because Szoboszlai is in the news. He's linked with us all the time, day in, day out. Everybody would think, Szoboszlai is our, main target. He's not our main target. Our main target remains as Houssem Aouar. And Romano says this is a club that's going to try to go back for Houssem Aouar, but the problem, the signature of Aouar may not come as easy as that. So we are still waiting to see what comes out of the transfer window. Are we getting Dominic Szoboszlai? Are we getting Hausemewa? Romano says we are going to be closely monitoring the situation with Dominic Szoboszlai. Is he going to cross over to RB Leipzig? They progressed in the Champions League. That means he might not be able to play. I think he might not be able to play for them in the Champions League, but of course, they look more attractive. If you compare Arsenal to RB Leipzig, I mean, they have progressed into the round of 16 in the Champions League. They look a good side. I mean, every club and every player would want to join them. I mean, they don't have much money, but they have a young manager. They have ambitions. They have good players. He's good. I mean, they're looking good. So we are going to be looking at the situation between Dominic Szoboszlai and other clubs that would want to take him, because there are so many. There are so many clubs that are interested in Dominic Szoboszlai. We've said this over and over: Arsenal, Bayern, AC Milan, RB Leipzig. You can name them. The good thing is that in England there are not so many clubs interested, but that doesn't mean that Arsenal is on a clean slate. We could just wake up and man has joined Bayern Munich or Real Madrid because everybody is in a fuss. And the fact that Madrid have progressed from at the group stages to the next round of the Champions League, they wanna achieve something. I know they would want to achieve something, so it might not be easy. It might not be easy for us to get Dominic Szoboszlai. But again, you think about our situation, it's even harder for Hausemewa. It's even harder. Like, man doesn't have a release clause that you're going to trigger, and the players already come out and said, I would want to stay at Lyon for some time. I would want to stay at Lyon at least until the end of the summer, which you do appreciate, because you think he's a young player and he knows that Lyon is all he's got. I mean, everything that he has as a player is courtesy of Lyon, so he just can't abandon them. They need him for the season. They need him, this whole season. I don't know how badly Lyon need money. That's going to be, a key point also, because last summer I told you we were able to, we would be able to get Hausemewa. They needed money. They didn't sell Memphis Depay. They didn't sell Moussa Dembele. They didn't sell Hausemewa. They didn't sell nobody. They needed money. If you would get in the money they wanted, around 50 million, they were going to give you that man. They were going to give you Hausemewa. But I think the problem was Arsenal spending 50 million twice in one transfer window. That would be quite hard. I thought it was either going to be Hausemewa or Thomas Partey. I never thought it was going to be both, and I always expressed my views clearly on this channel. I hope you guys got them right. So January transfer window, we are waiting for Hausemewa's again fast. I don't know what's really going to happen this time. I don't know what kind of stories we're going to be making. Arsenal close to Hausemewa. I don't know. Smash the like button. Help me do that before we continue. Smash the like button. Smash the like button. 18 people watching. Smash the like button. But I don't know what kind of stories are going to be in the January transfer window. I mean, especially around Arsenal. I don't know if you're going to be like Arsenal close to Dominic Szoboszlai. I don't know whether it's going to be Arsenal close to Hausemewa. It looks like it looks very clear that Arsenal is going to be busy in the market, but it doesn't look clear that we're going to buy players. I mean, it has never looked clear that Arsenal is going to buy players in the summer, because we have never looked that serious, right? So again, as we think about it as Arsenal fans, we got to think about it. Like, is it this serious? Is Arsenal this serious? Yes, Szoboszlai is on sale, and Awa is for sale. But is the club this serious? I mean, are we ready to spend 60 million in the January transfer window to overturn a season? Even before we think about the new manager, Allegri, these guys are going to want the money. They're going to want some tools to do the job. And if you don't have the tools, they won't join. I mean, no manager, if you're bringing in Angel Nijis, man is working with Sabata, he's working with Konate, he's working with Upamecano, he's working with, players like Angelino, he's working with, Mukiele. You don't expect him to work with Mukiele and then he comes and works with Eki Bellerin, right? You don't expect him to work with Sabata and then he comes and works with Mohamed Neni. I mean, the tools for the job need to be there. The January transfer window, for me, I think it's going to be a very big, decisive window for Arsenal. It might be one of the key turning points in our season. Even if we change a manager, even if we don't change a manager, but if we go out there in the January transfer window and we do trash, that is the end of Arsenal. That is the end of Arsenal's pursuit for top 10. But I can't imagine myself talking about Arsenal as contending for top 10. But that is the level we have been reduced to. And we need to talk about Arsenal as a club trying to get top 10, right? But even with trying to get top 10, if you can't match the quality of Southampton, Everton, the direct opponents in the top 10 race, we are gone. We are gone. There's so many positives, like Martinelli coming back. Next year, Thomas Partey is going to come back. Club is going to have, full strength, full, all players on board, but they're just not enough. We need to stop playing players like players like Neni. We need to stop playing players like Ceballos and Xhaka. Those players should just, rest and wait for the transfer summer when they get out. Because look, that Arsenal side needs to clear almost 10, 20 players. Almost 20 players off. And that can't be done in the general transfer window. You can't. You just can't, you can't let Socrates, Kolasinac, Chambers, and the likes of Bellerin live in the general transfer window. It can't. So we have to wait in the summer. It's going to be a very busy summer. I know. It's going to be a very big summer. We have to make our decisions right. Does Lacazette go? Does Lacazette stay? Do we give him a new contract? There were rumors that Arsenal was trying to give Shkodran Mustafi a new contract. And I asked myself that clearly there is no level of seriousness at this club. How dare you try to give Shkodran Mustafi a new contract? I mean, if we are trying to give players a contract by merit, then he doesn't merit one. He just doesn't merit one. So I was looking at that and I was like, no. I mean, no. It just can't be possible. It can't be possible. But it was possible, and it's good news that the player, turned down, the contract. Because look at it. If Shkodran Mustafi has a new contract at Arsenal, what does that mean? I don't know who tries to negotiate these, fucking deals, but they suck. They suck. Kolasinac, remains at the club. For what reason? I mean, Leverkusen were interested. You should have given, Kolasinac to Leverkusen at 1-2 million, reduce the burden, the wage burden. I mean, Kolasinac, he's not going to play football at Arsenal. Everybody knew that. Terminate his contract. Let him go. Man is not doing anything at Arsenal, and he knows. Let him go somewhere, and where he can get some football. And clearly, this is one of the mistakes that we made, making Mikel Arteta, head manager, giving him all that power, working with Edu, working with the board. It's coming back to haunt us now. Smash the like button. Massively appreciated. And if you want to subscribe to the channel, it's bottom right corner. You'll see that subscribe button. So I appreciate what Mikel Arteta has done, but it was too early for Arsenal to give him head manager title. Too early. I mean, man doesn't win FA Cup and a committee shouldn't say he has become head manager. I think it was a token of appreciation. I understand, but it was we were overwhelmed by happiness or over blinded. I think it wasn't the right decision, and everybody knows that. Now we are looking at sacking this guy, and we are sacking head manager, not head coach. Probably if he was head coach, it would be easy to sack him, but we are sacking head manager, and that's going to pose a big problem, big threat. How do you sack him? Now, who do you bring him in? These are questions making rounds on social media, and every Arsenal fan is concerned. You're sacking Mikel Arteta, right? Who do you bring him in? Who do you bring in? Are you bringing? I might be not surprised if Arsenal went for Pametaka, and they say he's an old boy. He's been doing well with the academy and so on. I won't be surprised. I won't be surprised if they bring in Patrick Vieira, man who has just lost his job, or they bring in Thierry Henry, and we shall have those debates. Patrick Vieira, Thierry Henry for Arsenal job. I just don't want them. I mean, they are Arsenal fans. They are Arsenal players. They have achieved so much at Arsenal, but this is not the right time for us to play these guys. Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. They are Arsenal fans. I said they are Arsenal players. They know how this club runs. They understand what you need to do at Arsenal. they really understand what it takes to be an Arsenal player, what it takes to be an Arsenal manager. They will do whatever it takes for Arsenal to go back to the top. But it's not time for Thierry Henry. It's not time for Patrick Vieira to come down at this club and be manager. They're just going to mess us around. Right now, I think this is because we are clearly far away from where we were when we were sacking Unai Emery. Clearly far away. So this is a time when we need to make an informed decision, put the scouts on the market. Let us scout for the right manager. Mikel Arteta has 3 games. That is understandable because he has been doing a lot of trash, a lot of shit at the club. Yes, 3 games are enough. Let him see the door. But who comes in is a big question. I don't want to see Pametaka, managing on the touchline down on the touchline. I would rather have Mikel Arteta. I don't want to see, Thierry Henry on that touchline. I would have Mikel Arteta. I don't want to see Patrick Vieira. I don't want to see Marco Overmars. Those are not football managers. Let us try to get a football manager like Chelsea have tried to do, like Manchester United have tried to do, like any other club has tried to do. If we can't, let us give Mikel Arteta the tools he needs to mess us around until we go back to the championship. If he doesn't win the next 3 games, he's getting sacked. Yeah, I mean, look, Fado, Amen, thank you so much. Thank you so much for always commenting, and thank you so much for coming live. Really means a lot. I really appreciate. And I appreciate every time you guys smash the like button. Look, this manager keeps on picking Hector Bellerin, and he will keep on picking Hector Bellerin every game. This manager keeps on picking Rob Holding ahead of William Saliba in every game. This manager keeps on picking Willian over Pepe, over Reece Nelson every game. And this manager has played Aubameyang down through the left this season almost 8 times out of the 11 games that we have played. He has lost 6 games out of the 11 games we have played this season. He has 4 wins and 1 draw. That is just not good enough. And no, we have players that are not good enough, but that is just not good enough, not acceptable. Let Mikel Arteta see the draw. I mean, let us see him move out of the club. Let him just move out. I have no problems with him as a person. He has been very great at the club as a player. I mean, he came in a season where we were drowning. Manchester United spanking us 8-2. Still remember, we went in, bought in, Rush, panic buys, Santos. You still remember those players. Pacho Young, Jesse Benayoun. I can't name them all. But right now, man has failed to do his job. He's not a player. He's not a coach. Like Troop said it, and I want to re-echo his, pick up my man Trips. I want to re-echo his thoughts on this show. He said, when you're coach, it's different from when you're a manager. Man came in as a coach and he did it so well. But when you're a manager, things are different. Things are quite different when you're a manager. I mean, it's not the ratata, good thing, being good with the players, so on. That's not when you're a manager. A manager, I mean, he made one of the comments that really made me angry. He said, the ruckus at Arsenal continues. Every day he expects something like a fight or something abysmal happening at the club. But that's because we don't have a perfect manager. Under Arsene Wenger, you could hear some stories. I mean, some things could come out. I mean, Jack Wilshere is smoking in the loose, smoking, and he's dropped. And Arsene Wenger told him, you don't get out of, that stupid head of yours. I'm going to drop you. He dropped him. One of the reasons why, his career went to the dogs, injuries plus, that kind of behavior. But this is a kind of manager who takes, who sees a man take a bad throw and he doesn't have the audacity, the energy, the power, the authority, the guts to throw him out of the starting lineup. Then you're not a manager. Sorry, you're not a manager. If you're a manager, you're a manager for a club like Wimbledon, you're not a manager for a club like Arsenal. And I expect an Arsenal manager to have authority on his club, to say that this guy cannot take a throw, let him stay on the bench, or even let him not come on the in the squad. There is no one is going to blame Mikel Arteta for not reading Heke Bellerin in the squad, because we know man cannot take a throw, man cannot defend, man cannot bring in a cross. Nobody's going to blame you, but he'll keep playing him, and even in the next 3 games, I'm sure he's going to play him. Last season, I told people that one of the reasons why Unai Emery was going to get sacked, sticking with those kind of players that you see that they are not doing well, but you stick with them because you feel they are your men and you can't let them down, right? Because Heke Bellerin has defended him, against the fans. He has defended him against the press. He's gonna give him football, and he's going to see himself out, and Bellerin will stay at the club because he still has a contract. Let him go. I don't even want to hear that, from that man. That's Dennis. Good morning, Dennis. Oh, good afternoon. There is no future on the club. I mean, clearly, it's clear. I'm telling you, there is no there is no future for Mikel Arteta. There is no way we are gonna believe he's taking us somewhere. If he believes he wants to take us somewhere, let him prove it to us. Let him win the next 3 games. And Arsenal is not even serious. Next 3 games, they should be wins. Man could get a win at Burnley, a draw at Southampton, and a draw at Everton, and he's back. That is not what we want. These should be wins, and promising wins with good football. Promising wins with good football. If he comes and packs the bus against Southampton, he packs the bus against Everton, I want him out. But I'm like Lee. I'm like the Lee Gunner now. Where, whatever kind of win he gets, he has to go. He has to go. These things are going to come back and back and back over and over again. It's the same old shit that's happening at United. United wake up one day, man spunks, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, spunks RB Leipzig, beats, the Neymar, PSG, and they're like, man is doing it. Man is doing it. They're excited. They're on top of the league. They didn't qualify. I mean, they didn't qualify for the Champions League. And these are the kind of abysmal managers that always try to, meander around. You give them an ultimatum of 3 games, they'll win all of them, and they'll take you back to where they belong. Not where the club belongs, but where they belong. I won't be surprised if Mikel Arteta wins these 3 games. I won't be surprised, because that's what they do. I mean, the PE teacher at United has won so many games ever since they threatened to sack him, and I'm not surprised United is where they are this season, because he has been under pressure. But when that fool gets comfortable, that's when you see. So I don't want to see in that mess. I don't want us to be in that mess of Mikel Arteta, and with Mikel Arteta, we are 15th. You put man on pressure, he takes us to 4th, and when the pressure goes away, we are back to 15th. He would rather leave. Master Allegri is the right man for the job, and Arsenal board must surely support him, give him over 250 million euros. That is crazy. I mean, Allegri is a good man. The budget is crazy. Emma, that budget is crazy. Look, I want Arsenal to spend 300 million in one summer. I want Arsenal to spend over 400 million in one summer. But what's the possibility? What's the likelihood? What is, what are the chances that we are going to spend that money? The chances are so small. They're so slim. I don't see Arsenal spend 250 million. The best we can do is get him, maybe Awa 50 million and bring him Zobuzlai at 25 million, and then that's all. And also look at this. We need to drive out the deadwood before we think about recruiting new players, because these bad players drive the morale of the good players down. I don't want to see Gabriel become an average player because of Rob Holding and Callum Chambers, because they're around him. I don't want to, one of the reasons why you see players like Konate and Upamecano rising every season, they're playing with world-class players. That's a world-class centre-back partnership. Ibrahim Konate, Dayot Upamecano, world-class. So you need to have good players around good players if you're going to build a strong team. Not one good player playing in a sea of average deadwood players. But I agree with you. Allegri is not a bad man. I mean, he's quite defensive though. He's gonna play his 3-5-3 or 3-5-2 or 3-4-3, but he has experience. He has a brand of football. He can affect the structures. He can impact the players. He's well tested at Juventus. I don't have any problems with Max Allegri. I can't really say. I would love Simeone. He can't come down to the club. I know that. So I can't come here and say I want Allegri, man. Why don't we bring in Diego Simeone? But if Allegri is coming to us, and he can deliver, why not? I have no problems with him. Thank you so much, Emma, for the comment. I agree with you. Young talent should be given a try. Look at the likes of Emily Smith-Rowe. He has creativity, but he needs the game time to produce something. Look at Rhys Nelson. Yeah, this one I'm telling you, guy. I'm asking myself, why didn't Emily Smith-Rowe play in the Europa League group stages this season? He's clearly better than Jose Willock, but both men can play in the same team. Jose Willock likes to play like a box to box, carry that ball forward, go in, forward, more forward. He's that kind of player. Why didn't he play in these group stages? Probably, if you're looking at talent and you're trying to sync talent, then you've got to try out the options you have. You have the young players. You have the Emily Smith-Rowe. Man should be playing out there. He must be playing ahead of Jose Willock, unless Mikel Arteta doesn't know that. But he must be playing ahead of Jose Willock. Emily Smith-Rowe is multifaceted, highly talented. I'm not saying Jose Willock is a bad player. I love him. He's a young man. Probably is going to develop his career and Arsenal 2 or 3 seasons in front. But I read Emily Smith-Rowe more. But even if you don't have to bench Willock to play Emily Smith-Rowe. Now that's the problem I have in Mikel Arteta. Saliba, I know there are problems, but these are his fellow young kids that are playing football in the Europa League. Why don't you give him a chance? To me, Rhys Nelson can put Willian on pressure. Just that Willian has the experience. Play Alba on the wing because it's the best position. Give Nketiah a chance up front. Yeah, Emma playing Abba. For me, I don't care where Abba plays, as long as we can, support him. Whether he plays on the left, whether he plays on the right, whether he plays as a centre back, as long as we can give him the support he needs to score the goals, because he is our best goal scorer and he is the best goal scorer in the league. That is not changing. I'm not changing my opinion about that right now. He is one of the best scorers in the in the league. He is our best goal getter at the club. The problem is we have a manager that is not trusting him enough. We have a manager that's playing a system that can't create chances for strikers, and we are going to start blaming them. Can we sign Oxlade back? He is what we need. Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain. I don't see him as a player who has energy to drive a season and to drive a team through a storm. He's a good player. If he joined Arsenal right now, a lot of things could change. He could add so much, like Ramsey. But I don't see them as players that do turn a season around. What Arsenal needs right now is a player who can turn a season around. Like the way Bruno turned United from a mid-table team to a top 4 team. I think that is what we need. Oxlade is a good player, but honestly, the truth is, one of the players I want to see, I want to see come back at the club. Oxlade is not among them. I wouldn't want to see Oxlade-Chamberlain come back at the club. But you think about it and you're like, okay, what has he done so wrong? Nothing. Can he help us? Yeah. Because for me right now, I'll take anything. I'll take anything as long as it puts us back on top. Because my brother, Arteta is not the problem of the club, but the management. Let's give Arteta and Edu what it takes to recruit new good players, but the management is too stingy. Victor, I told you that my problem with Mikel Arteta is not the recruitment. I know the recruitment is letting him down. My problem with Mikel Arteta is, why do you keep selecting Bellerin when he can't take a throw? Why do you keep selecting Aubameyang when he is not in top form? Probably leave him out for one game and see whether that can, threaten him and, add to his levels of involvement. Why do you play Willian game in, game out when you know he's not good enough? Why do you play? That's why I'm blaming him. He left out Mesut Ozil and he said this was his decision for footballing reasons. He left out good players out of the squad for footballing reasons. He has to feel it. I'm telling you by fact, he has to feel it. If he had played the players he has in the right positions, we would be saying Mikel Arteta needs good players. But because he has sticked with players like Bellerin and they're costing him, they cannot take a throw, we have to go down and blame him. Because he has one tactic, to the left, to the left, to the left. We have to blame him. Try to do something different so that we could see. Fans are not blind. Fans are not blind. I mean, you could tell the difference between Emery and Arteta. We used to score goals, using the same team, using the same team under Unai Emery. We used to score goals. We beat Tottenham around, was it 5-3? We beat Tottenham 5-3. Using the same team. We scored goals. Why aren't we scoring goals? Why have we scored 10 goals in 11 games? Because we have one tactic and we are easy to block. Pass sideways, sideways, sideways. Throw it to the left. Swing it in for Aubameyang. If he doesn't score, the team will not score. Playing a defensive game every game doesn't work. It just doesn't work. You got to adjust. If you're playing against Burnley, if you're playing against Brighton, there's a difference when you're playing against Liverpool. But we don't have a difference. I mean, we play the same old kind of football every day, all the time. That's just not acceptable. Andrew can play number 10 well in the Arsenal. Exactly. This is what I'm telling you. You need to give these youngsters a chance. I don't know why, it looks like a chronology. He has chosen players he can give a chance, and he has chosen players he doesn't want to give a chance. That is, ultimately crazy. How do you tell us? How do you explain that? He has chosen some players like, I'll play this one. I'll play Bellerin. I'll play Willian. You need to give everybody an equal opportunity. He said it himself this season that every player would come into the Arsenal squad, starting lineup by merit. No player is going to get into the squad because of reputation. It was easy for him to say, but hard to do. Smith Rowe, on merit, he deserves a chance, but he's not getting it. Balogun deserves a chance. He's not getting it. Update me on the likely transfers for Arsenal. Right now, this morning, there are only 3 transfer updates. One is about Asamoah, and Roman has been talking about that on the Arsenal launch, and he said that Arsenal will be trying so much to go back for Asamoah. I expect it's going to be the same old bullshit. It's going to be the same old crap we had last summer. We are in our talks. Man doesn't join. Again, we are linked with Dominic Szoboszlai. Is another likely transfer. I mean, he's another likely transfer, but is he going to join the club? That's quite, interesting. If you ask me that question, I would say I don't know. Trust me, I would say I don't know. I have to know because I really, follow these issues, but there is just a lot of competition for us to believe we are going to sign this guy. Thanks everybody who has smashed the like button. We are just 1 away from 10. So smash the like button. 30 people watching. Smash the like button. It's massively appreciated. And I'm going to be doing the match preview for Arsenal versus Dundalk. I even don't want to do these previews, but I ought to do them. I just ought to do them. I just don't want to do Europa League previews, but I'll do it. So the other player is Stephen Casey. He's playing with AC Milan, and because Ozil is linked with the move away to the club, it's linked that Casey is going to be coming or might be coming in, is a potential target to Arsenal to replace Mesut Ozil. It's clear that we have to replace Mesut Ozil, and it's clear it's one of the reasons why we are performing badly. We don't have a creative player. We have a box-to-box. We have a CDM. All of them are not good enough, and then we don't have a creative player. You mean if a CDM cannot do their job, if a box-to-box cannot do their job, there's no way they're going to advance than to take up the roles of creating goals. You get me? So that's what is happening at the moment. Arsenal is looking at Casey, Szoboszlai, Arteta, but there are also other transfers. I mean, Emi Buendia is linked with the club so closely. And you ask yourself, why did we bring him in last summer? We had a chance. Club was getting relegated. Norwich was getting relegated. You need to sports. That's what Manchester City did. Bournemouth is going down. Get Nathan Ake out of there. You know? Newcastle did it. All the clubs have done it, but we, Arsenal, just can't sport. We need to scout players. We need to sport the good talent. Arteta should play Reece Nelson, Abba, and Pepe is supported by Partey and Ceballos at least. I don't know whether that would work, Chris. I don't know whether that would work. I mean, everything seems not to work at Arsenal, and it's really disappointing me. Everything just seems not to work at Arsenal. But maybe I'll agree with you. I'll agree with you. I'll have Reece Nelson. He's working hard. And when he's on the pitch, you could see some promising football. But the problem I have with Reece Nelson, he has a very poor last touch. Scoring is poor. Crossing is poor. His corners are poor. The free kicks don't go beyond the first man, in that wall. His delivery is total shit. If he can work upon that, Reece Nelson is a good player. He is a good player. But you're not a good player as long as your delivery is zero. This is the fact. I'm telling it to you. He is a good player. Reece Nelson is a perfect player for Arsenal, but his delivery is zero. You can't be a good player. You can't be a top player when your delivery is zero. You've got to work on that. Same with Pepe. Pepe is talented. Pepe is going to do whatever he does, but the delivery is zero. You don't see the output. You can't see that Pepe is creating 5 chances in a game. You can't see that Pepe is having 5 shots on target in a game. It's not happening. That needs to change. I don't know whether problems with manager, with man management and so on, but that has to change. But both of them are good players. Pepe, Reece Nelson, they're good players. I would want them to play in that Arsenal side. I would want him to be, I would want them to be there. But their delivery is stinking. Their delivery is stinking. You look at one of the things that made Olivier Giroud a classy player. Those last man kicks, the assists. Giroud was so good at that. He might have missed so many chances, sitter chances. He scored some and missed whatever he thought he had to miss. But Giroud could lay it off to the last man. You get me? He could lay it off to the last man, and this is what Pepe needs to do. If Pepe wants to play down through the middle as a number 10, let him do that as long as he can play good football. Campbell says Arsenal have below average players on high wages that no one wants. It's perfect. It's a perfect comment. We could just talk about this for 10 minutes, 50 minutes, 1 hour, 2 hours, and 10 hours, and it's still the same topic. Average players who are below average on high wages. And I've been saying this. Kolasinac is getting 100K per week. Kolasinac is not doing anything. Not doing anything. You ask yourself, why doesn't Kolasinac leave? Socrates. Man wanted to cancel his contract to go to Napoli. We refused. I don't know why we are keeping him at the club. Surely, these players, the Squadron Mustafis, next summer, they're going to move on a free. It's the same old story. If they had left Arsenal in this last summer, probably at 1 million each or 2 million each, it would have been the same. But now we are paying them and they are going out on a free. What were we trying to do? Granit Xhaka, Mohamed El Neni, all those are average players that need to leave the club at once. Sorry for that. Players like Dominic Szoboszlai, Hausemuwa, KC Konate, and Edward from Celtic. Yeah, we are linked with all this, but I want to slap this on your face. We can't have Edward from Celtic before the summer. We are not bringing in Konate. Hausemuwa is not so likely in the general transfer window, probably in the summer. KC, I don't see it as a serious transfer. And Dominic Szoboszlai, there's just a lot of competition on him. So I'm not going to be surprised if Arsenal doesn't sign any of these guys. I'm telling you by fact. I won't be surprised if Arsenal doesn't sign any of those guys. Like if we woke up one day and Arsenal is bringing in one average, guy we don't know about from France, from Spain. Wait, the transfer summer. I mean, this transfer window is not yet open. When the transfer window opens, that's when Arsenal goes for their real players. Remember when we were going to the transfer summer, the kind of defenders we were linked with. Now this is not to disrespect Gabriel. I love him. I really support him. He's a good player and he has surprised me a lot. But we were linked with Upamecano. You still remember? We were linked with Malangsa. We were linked with Konate. I mean, when we reached signing a defender, none of those guys joined. None of them, absolutely none of them had a chance to join Arsenal. It was Gabriel Magalhaes. It was Thiago Silva. Those are the players we were looking at. So these players that we are looking at, before the window, they could be very different from the players that we are going to look at when we are, in the deep down in the transfer, January transfer winter window. But clearly, if you have these players in your side, there's a big difference. They could make a big difference, a big difference. And Arsenal knows this. And every person at Arsenal knows this. So Szoboszlai could make a big difference. Hausemuwa could make a big difference. Konate could make a big difference. Alton Edward could make a big difference. But that is how much? Szoboszlai is 25 million. Awai is 50. That is 75. Kessie could be around 20. That is how much? 95. Konate around 50. And then 150. And then Alton Edward could also be around 50. That's around 200 million. I don't see Arsenal spend that. Unless you tell me, even if it's January and the summer, unless if you tell me that we're going to sell some players and get some good money. But other than that, I don't see Arsenal going out there and spending 200 million on these players. But we need them. I told you we are as bad as this. We let Santi Cazorla go. We let Aaron Ramsey go. We let Jack Wilshere go. Which other midfielder did we let go? Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain left. Those are almost 4 quality players in the midfield under Arsene Wenger's regime. On top of that, we let Matteo Guendouzi leave. We left Torreira to leave. Those are 6 players. And we brought in one player, Thomas Partey. Isn't that interesting, man? You let 6 players leave and you bring in one player, Thomas Partey. Man is injured. There's no backup. How stupid that was. I don't remember. I don't know who made that decision, but it was quite stupid. And how much have we spent on our midfield in the past 3 years? How much? How many quality players have we added to that midfield? And you're like, we have added some quality to the midfield. I don't remember. I really don't remember. Hi, Kosi. Hi, Benjamin. How are you doing? I'm really doing great. I mean, I have 5 more minutes to this, to end this show, but it really sucks. And I'm telling you this in the 5 minutes. Last remarks: Mikel Arteta is a good manager. I love him. Not for Arsenal. Not good enough for Arsenal, though. I'll be consistent with this, even if he wins more games. Not good enough. I've taken my stand. Mikel Arteta out. I'm not changing. I know there are so many people who believe, Kosi, you shouldn't be blaming Mikel Arteta. You shouldn't be talking about Mikel Arteta like this. But I'm not interested. I'm not interested in seeing him turn around things. I'm not interested in seeing him turn around his career. Let him turn it around. At Leipzig, somewhere else, not at this club. Nico says, Arteta will turn around, my brother. He has only had one transfer window. We are trying to clean up Arsenal's wingers mess. Now look, Patience, look. You are saying, I don't know. You are saying that this guy has had one transfer window. He needs more time. Let me look at the players. Let me look at the players he has signed. He has Partey. He has Gabriel. He has Willian. Aubameyang stayed. Right? Those are 4 players. Okay, and Dani Ceballos. I won't blame him for that. I don't think he's really to blame for Dani Ceballos' mess. So those are 4 players. We are 15th. A manager who's going to work, you need to prove to us that however bad this squad is, I'm trying. That is what Arsene Wenger did, and that's why we need to put some respect on his name. I mean, we need to put respect on Arsene Wenger's name because he was dealing with the same kind of hardships, the mess, the problems created by the Arsenal management, and he was thriving. He was thriving. He was thriving. Not even thriving, but thriving. These boys can't thrive at the climate at Arsenal. If we have the same old Arsenal, then we need the same old way of doing things. Arsene Wenger was quite different. And I think all the Arsenal fans look up to him and they're like, we were wrong. Forgive us, Arsene. We were wrong. And I'm one of those people who say, I was wrong. Forgive me, Arsene, forgive me. I was wrong. Actually, his tactics were not dead wood. Actually, what he was trying to do was to help us get out of the crap, the mess that Raul Sanelli, Stan Kroenke, and all other frauds had created. We didn't see that. We just didn't see that. It's now after 4 good seasons, that we are in the Europa League. We have no Champions League hopes. We are totally dreadful that we are seeing it and we're like, guys, man was right. Should have stayed at the club. You see, Arteta is not taking us anywhere. Arteta is not taking us anywhere. You like it, live it, believe it. He's not taking us anywhere. Even if we give him those players, look at his tactics first. Are his tactics promising? Is his team selection promising? If he was a manager that you thought is the Arsenal man, he should be saying by now that some players are needed. Right back. He should be saying those things. He shouldn't be backing the board. He shouldn't be, hiding the body, under his pants. But he's doing that. A manager who hides the weakness of the board under his pants is not an Arsenal manager. He is a puppet. He is a tool. It's Arteta 11. 3 games. We are waiting for that. That's what Calisio Mercato was saying. That There are 3 games for Arteta to leave this football club if he doesn't deliver. Southampton, Burnley, Everton. Hey, it's Gunners, how are you? Arteta needs time. I don't give him any time, and I'm not on that. I'm not on the people who are saying Arteta needs time. His tactics are dreadful. He has one plan. A manager who doesn't have a plan B, dreadful play, dreadful. I mean, even if he wins games, even if he wins the next 3 games, even if he wins all the other last games, I won't be Arteta in anymore. I'm not in. I'm seeing what Solskjaer is doing to United. I'm seeing what Solskjaer is doing to United. One day they are Solskjaer in, another day they are Solskjaer out. One day they are Solskjaer in, another day they are Solskjaer out. You know how much that hurts. I mean, imagine if you are in a Manchester United fan shoes, and you're being PSG, you're beating Leipzig, you're quite confident and sure you qualify for the Champions League. Man crashes you out. I mean, I should just have a laugh. I mean, I'm in no position to laugh at United. Even if they come down to the Europa League, they are still favorites over us. I mean, they are. But I should just have a laugh. I mean, Solskjaer, well done, man. I still remember, I told United fans, you guys might not qualify through that group stage, that group stage, round. And they're like, no, we must. We beat PSG, we beat Leipzig. They did, but did they qualify? And the Manchester United fans, I think I had bet $100 with one Manchester United fan, and I hope he watches this one day. Rokan Media, Rokan Sport, United Social Television. I hope you watch this, and man, and you remember, $100 was there for you to win if you qualify through that damn group. You didn't, because of that Bizimo manager. And I'm telling you, his weird tactics are the same weird tactics at Arsenal. To the left, to the left, to the left, pass sideways, to the left, pass sideways, to the left, pass sideways, cross it for Aubameyang, and he scores. If he doesn't score, Arsenal won't score. I'm not giving Arteta more time, is Gunners. I'm telling you this by fact. It's either I stop doing streams about Mikel Arteta because it's dividing my audience, and I don't want that. I'm gonna just stop, streaming about his, dreadful tactics, and we focus on other things. From what you named, Willian is the only bad signing. He wanted an attacking midfielder, but the club did not go in extra mile for him. Yeah, I understand. I'm not saying Willian is, or anything like that. I'm saying, why do you play Willian if he's dreadful? Big question. Why do you play Bellerin if he's dreadful? Why do we have one tactic, to the left, to the left, to the left, to the left? Big questions. We need to, we need answers. I have no problems with the manager staying at Arsenal. Man has, won the FA Cup and other things. No, I'm not in. We should have had Ozil in the 25-man squad. Man is leaving. We don't need to talk about Ozil right now, man. It's Gunners. We just need to talk about Ozil. Man is leaving in January or in the summer. So clearly any business at Arsenal doesn't concern him. But Arsenal body is sleeping because the team is getting relegated. Let them bring in. I'm telling you, Chris. Yesterday I had a stream. It was 1 hour. It was about Arsenal getting relegated. And I was telling you guys that the problem is that you people want transfers. I'll do the transfer stories. I'll do them. You people want transfer stories because they're sensationalized. You want transfer stories, but they're sensationalized. But the real talk is, where is Arsenal going? That's the real talk. Are we getting relegated? We are relegation threatened. That's the real talk. Real talk, man. Real talk. Bible says Arsenal wasn't thriving when we were losing 6-0 to Chelsea, 8-2 to United, multiple 5-0 to Liverpool, multiple 5-0 to Bayern. Look, these managers are lucky. I'm telling you this. These managers are lucky. If Mikel Arteta spends some more time at Arsenal. We shall see the 5-0s. We shall see the 8-2s. We shall see the 6-0s. Even for me, even for Western Wenger, I'm telling you by fact, man was hot in 2004, 2005, 2006, 2007, 2008, 2009. Man was hot. He was still competing, playing competitive football until the board let him down. But he was still trying. You could see an identity. You could see the Arsene Wenger identity. You could see that Arsenal could be identified on the pitch. Not by jersey, but by football. Beat us 8-2. Let us play good football. And you guys always say that. We always lost United, but we played the better kind of football. It was promising. That's what I'm trying to talk about. Football is not promising anymore, guys. It's not promising anymore. We are not playing good football, are we? We are not. We are not winning. We're not getting positive results. Everything is negative. Negative. No morale in the players. No morale in the fans. No what? Nothing. His tactics caused these results. I loved Arsene Wenger, but his time was up. Maybe we loved Mikel Arteta, but his time is up as well. Thank you so much, Mabo, by the way, for the comments. Mikel has to have time. It's his first managed job. He has a lot of pressure, and he's manager of a big club. He won more trophies in 7 months than Pochettino did. And stop this, guys! Stop this! Stop this! You're misleading us. East Gunners, you're misleading us. You're misleading the fans, telling us that he has won more trophies than Pochettino. The damn Community Shield. We were excited. We were happy. But that doesn't mean you drag us into relegation because you have two trophies in 7 months. You don't take us to relegation and we are accepting, man. We don't do that. And I'm not accepting as an Arsenal fan. I'm just not accepting it. Yeah, thanks for the trophies. Thank you so much. Even if they bring in who's a waiver manager or coach, without getting the current recruitment, it will be the same story, my brother. That's Victor. Thank you so much, Victor, brother. You say Mikel Arteta is a puppet, but Wenger covered up for the board all the time. All the time. So if Arteta is not an Arsenal man for covering the Arsenal, so if Arteta is not an Arsenal man for covering them, then Arsene was not an Arsenal man because he did it. He did the same. I didn't say Arsene Wenger was an Arsenal man. His tactics were good. He was let down the board. He lied to us. He always lied to us, like Mikel. He knew the problem. He knew the problem that Raul Sanelli was a problem. Wenger knew. He knew the problem that Kroenke are the problem. He knew. He never talked about it. If you read his new book, you will understand what kind of agony, what kind of bad conditions that man was working in. He tried to build things from scratch. That's the difference. He tried to build things from scratch. These boys are, are even lucky. They're not working under, Arsene Wenger's conditions. They're getting some money. You have a 50 million player as, on your first job. You have a world-class defender signed for you. Arsene Wenger was working from scratch. You get a Samuel Nasri, develop them. Club is gonna sell him out. You still remember that, right? You still remember that most of the quality that should have won us the titles was sold under the nose of Arsene Wenger, under his watch. You know how painful that is? You're building a team to win trophies and the board is selling off your players. That is hurting. And his tactics were not dreadful. Arteta, he said that he needs 5 to 6 players to play the way he needs to play. He said it last week in his press conference. He said that he needs the players. So what do you want from him? Look, I know we want Mikel Arteta as a portion, and we don't want Mikel Arteta as a portion of fans. And I respect your opinion. I do respect your opinion. Please do respect mine. I know Mikel Arteta is going to, these are some, I expect him to say, he's looking for a reason. He's looking for a reason. He should have said this at the start of the season. When he was leaving out Mesut Ozil, he should have said that. But what did he say? He said, body's backing me. I'm doing so well. I'm happy. The body's backing me. Why is he saying that he needs 6 players right now? He said he was backed. He said the board was behind him. Why is he saying it right now when we are 15th and he's saying, I need players? Why didn't he say it? Why didn't he say it at the beginning of the season? Should have said it. He's a clown. Arteta should be cleaner. Should be cleaner. I think he will be better. That's amen. He doesn't have tactics. I think the problem was Arsenal giving him his first job at such a big club. But it's the worst job you can get as a first manager. And I sympathize with him at times. I'm like, this is the worst job you can get as a first manager. If Arteta doesn't win his next 3 games, then do you think he should stay? No. Even if he doesn't play any of them, man should leave. Hi, I am Arteta. I cry, baby. I'm going to go out. Thank you. Look at that. It's quite a meme. Amen. Our next fixtures are that not easy. We might lose, so Arteta might be sacked. Whether man gets sacked or not, whether we win or not, man needs to get sacked. Before the red card, was Pepe doing anything to justify being in the starting 11? No, he wasn't playing that well. Bellerin, I agree. I think Ainsley should be played ahead of him all day. Yeah, thank you so much. And look, Pepe needs some time as well. I know it's not, he's been dreadful in the league, but he's been outstanding out there in the Europa League. Man needs more tactics. Man needs more time. Probably will deliver. Why is Willian having all the time playing shit? Pepe, who is giving us some good performances in the Europa League, can't get some time. It's unfair. It's unfair. Who would you replace with? Who replace him with? I already said my opinion. It's Simeone. He can't come, so probably it's gonna be Allegri. Really, how do you bench Ainsley and keep playing? Thank you so much, Chris. Thank you so much, Chris. Thank you so much. You keep playing Bellerin and Ainsley is out on the bench drying. You leave out Ainsley to dry, one of our best players last season as it was ending. They make sense. You say that, but big teams like Chelsea, City, and Liverpool, Man U, can't run through us anymore because defensively we are more solid. I don't want good football. If I'm going to be losing 8-2. I get your point. Yours is about the big teams. You care that United doesn't smash you 8. You care that City doesn't smash you 6. You care that you don't lose 5-0 to Liverpool. My question is, what's the difference between losing 3-1, 1-0, 2-0 to Spurs, even if you have not lost 6-0? And then you also can't beat simple Aston Villa. You can't beat Leicester City. You can't beat Leeds. Are you going forward? Are you going back? That's my question to you, Michelo. Are you going forward? Are you going back? I think Arteta is too big. I think Arsenal is too big for Arteta. Francis in Uganda. Thank you so much, Ocean. Francis. Still taking in the comments. For sure, Arteta can't manage the team. Let him go. Chris. Bigger. Then who is the possible replacement? It's Allegri. And I don't know. I think we shall talk about Allegri when we get time and when we have confirmed, or when his transfer intensifies. Bring Allegri and let Arteta be coach assistant. Many people have said that he worked well as coach under Pep, so probably would work well under Allegri, but I don't see that happen. I think he's going to decide to leave. I respect your opinion, my brother. So good. All we want is for Arsenal to be at the top again. I want to see Arsenal raise the Champions League trophy in my life. Can we do it? I mean, I want to see that as well. And thank you so much, man. Thank you for the honest opinions. Can we see Arsenal win the Champions League again? Sorry, for the first time, I mean, in our lives. I think we can. It might not be in the next 3-5 years, but if Liverpool had officially become a mid-table team, they were struggling, but they came back. If Liverpool did it, we can do it. Arteta out. Relentless gonna big up Nathan. Big up Pepe. Actually, yesterday on the show, I had man like Poppy Cool from Jamaica. Yeah, I was forgetting to send him shout outs. Poppy Cool from Jamaica. And I really love to send, I would love to send shout outs to all the people who always phone in live. Nathaniel, the Relentless Guna, Poppy Cool, Zoom Arsenal, Guna FC, all these people who always, mind. Glenn Kitley, check out his channel. Isganas, HJ90, check out his channel. He's a national blogger. So please do check out their channels. They are really, really, really big names in there. Pepe has been so good in the Europa League. He's out. He's one of our favorite players. I just want him to get his head straight and take his spot from Willian. That's right. I mean, I don't disagree with you, by the way, Mbambo. In that Leeds game, man was crap. Man was a problem. And going ahead to get that red card, it was totally stupid. But what we do, I mean, they're the players we do have. But still, I think Pepe needs, to raise his, himself as a player. Give Arteta time. We have rubbish players that have let down previous managers time after time. Let him get rid of Deadwood and build his own team. I do not disagree. We have dead players. We have Deadwood right from the Arsene Wenger era, right from the Emery era. They are crossing over to the new generations. We need to let them go. We need to get a serious manager. Get a serious manager. Get a serious team. You're back to business. Arteta talking nonsense in the press conference. They're backing me. They're backing me. They're giving me money. The body's with me. We are working hard towards the success of this club. The success of this club is not 15th, mind you. Thank you so much, Relentless. A 1-0 loss means it's a competitive game, but 6 still means you should have stayed at home. But I agree that losing is losing and means we aren't moving forward. Thank you. And I'm telling you this, Arsene Wenger, before he left this club, I think for over 20 years, man was qualifying for the Champions League. Man was smashing Aston Villa. Man was beating Southampton. Man could beat Brighton. Man could beat Bournemouth. Right now, we can't beat small sides. We can't beat big sides. We are bad. We are that bad. Next season, Liverpool and Man United will go to the Europa League, to the Europa Premier League. That's your opinion. Thank you, Vlad. I did say that Arsenal is in the maze because of the management. It's true. I do not disagree. Management has been shit for some time. Let Arteta play in the next Premier League game. I know we will win. Then it's up to the management to decide whether to fire Arteta or not. Let Arteta play Ozil. in the next, Premier League game. The next Premier League game is Burnley. It doesn't justify if we win against Burnley. Arteta loves the deadwood players. I mean, he plays Bellerin. How do you justify that? I mean, how do you justify that he doesn't love the average players? He plays Bellerin over and over again. Who are the three players you want to join Arsenal? Only midfielders, and I'm telling you this by fact. Only midfielders. I think a elite midfield will spark the forward line. I'm telling you by fact. A elite midfield is gonna spark us a good midfield. So I want a backup for Partey first and foremost. I want a backup for Partey. I want an 8 and I want a 10. 1, get me Szoboszlai. £25 million is his release clause. There are no reasons as to, absolutely, as to why Arsenal doesn't fight for his signature. Do whatever it takes, get me Szoboszlai. That's 1. I need Sabitzer. I like Sabitzer. RB Leipzig, you know him? Sabitzer. Those are starters. But I would also want a backup for Thomas Partey. In that case, I want someone who's ready to sit on the bench and wait up. I can go for Amadou Diawara. Those are the 3. I can go for Amadou Diawara, strengthen that midfield when Partey is away. Have Nicole Sabitzer, Leipzig, as part of my midfield. And also have Dominic Szoboszlai. I love Allegri as a coach, but let's not forget that he's also a defensive coach. The difference that he has experience, and he has won the Italian league not only with Juve but also with Milan. Yeah, he's the defensive coach. And yesterday we were talking this with the Relentless Gunnar, and I was saying that, man, look, guy is defensive. He's not even balanced. His kind of play is not balanced. But if you want it with Juve, he can do it with Arsenal. I'm saying, how did Mourinho win when he's defensive? How is he winning games? If Mikel Arteta can do that, I mean, he'll be good to go. I'm not saying I'll back him, but he'll be good to go. Who are the 3 players you want them to join Arsenal? I've said that. I've answered that. Szoboszlai, Sabitzer. I'll go for Diawara. If Arsenal plays Ozil again, then he is finished. He will lose his power and authority in the dressing room. Look at what happened to Emery. The moment he went back begging Ozil to play, it was over. Now, there are mixed opinions about Ozil, but since he's leaving, I don't want to talk much about him. I know he's leaving the club, so we just need to look forward. Hi, I am Tobias from Kenya. Everyone is blaming Arteta. The main problem is Kroenke. This guy wants good result, but he doesn't want to spend money to buy players. Thank you so much, Tobias. There from Kenya. Sangare and Kisi would be backups for Partey, even Diawara. Yeah, you talk about Kisi, you can talk about Sangare, you can be talking about Diawara. I mean, there's so many options we can be talking about. But guys, it has been such a wonderful show. What a wonderful show. I mean, 1 hour and 23 minutes, 24 minutes. I haven't streamed like that for in a while. But yesterday we lacked content, so I had to stream a little bit longer. Big up everybody. Smash like button. Let me see how many we have here before we leave the stream. You guys have already done it. You've already smashed the like button, so 37 people in the chat, comments coming in, 20 likes, beautiful. Pick up my guys. I love that. Let me take these 2 comments, some more comments, as I don't want to leave anybody out. Arteta's falling out of tactics and pep notes. We need a coach with good experience. Let Edu appoint Allegri or Pochettino. That's Ronnie. Big up, Ronnie. Arteta did win games defensively. He beat Chelsea and City in the FA Cup. Yeah, I know, but it looks like his tactics are one one-sided. You can't have one-sided tactics. You either have more plan A, plan B, plan C, plan D, or you're gone. You're gone. The reason as to why he's doomed is he has one tactic. Thanks for the show. Thank you so much, Mbambo. Thank you so much. I'll be back with the daily Arsenal transfer updates. You get me? At exactly 5 p.m. East Africa Standard Time. That is UK time, 5 p.m., 3 hours. I think that's 7 p.m. Will it be 7? 8 p.m. UK Standard Time. So the daily Arsenal transfer update will be dropping so soon. Make sure you check that out as well.